Hello students, welcome to the last part of haloalkanes and haloarenes. In this part, I am discussing 8 questions from previous year NEET papers, and this is going to be the last part in haloalkanes and haloarenes, as I completed all previous year NEET questions from haloalkanes and haloarenes. Right, so let us start the last part of haloalkanes and haloarenes. So in this part, first question is, benzene reacts with N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride to give. Okay, so you can see the reactants given here. First one is benzene and second reactant given is N-propyl chloride in the presence of catalyst also given anhydrous aluminum chloride. So by seeing the reactants and the catalyst, one thing is clear, right? We can easily guess the reaction, and this reaction is one of the named reaction called Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction. And in Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction, we know already, right, 3 steps we're having. First step is generation of electrophile, second step is abstraction of electrophile, and third step we can take is the loss of proton. Right, now if you see the reaction now between benzene and N-propyl chloride. Okay, first I taken benzene reaction with N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride. Okay, in this reaction we'll get formation of isopropyl benzene, and by seeing the alkyl halide, what we guess here is the formation of N-propyl benzene, right? But we'll get formation of isopropyl benzene, and that's because of you can see just I have taken part of mechanism here. Okay, starting with N-propyl chloride, a reaction with aluminum chloride results in the formation of a carbocation. Okay, so in the first step we'll generate electrophile, right? And in this case we'll get generation of electrophile, particularly it is a primary carbocation, right? Now all of you know the stability of carbocations, right? If you take stability comparison, tertiary carbocations are more stable compared to secondary, and secondary carbocations are more stable compared to primary. So one thing is clear here, what we are getting, a primary carbocation is not much stable, right? So for this carbocation, as primary carbocation, there's one way to get more stable carbocation, right? So what happens now? So we can take right numbering, like this is first carbon and this is second carbon. From second carbon, one of the hydrogen with the bonding electrons will shift to the first carbon. And in this process, okay, so what's happening? From second carbon, one of the hydride is shifting to the first one, right? So you can call the process or the reaction as 1,2 hydride shift. So if this happens, results in the formation of a secondary carbocation. You can see here the middle carbon getting positive charge. So what's happening now? By 1,2 hydride shift, we are moving from a primary carbocation to the secondary carbocation. That's more stable carbocation, right? Okay, so if you get more stable carbocation, you can take the next step now. The second step is abstraction of electrophile. So benzene will abstract electrophile, and electrophile is a secondary carbocation, or you can take isopropyl carbocation. Okay, if it abstracts electrophile and further the loss of proton results in the formation of a compound here called isopropyl benzene, or even you can take the name as cumene. So in this way we'll get formation of isopropyl benzene. So the right answer for this question is option D, isopropyl benzene. Right, let's take the second question now. Industrial preparation of chloroform, chloroform CHCl3 employs acetone and which reagent? Right, now we need to guess the reagent in this so that we'll get formation of chloroform. Right, we can see the first we can easily identify the reaction, right? Preparation of chloroform is not mentioned, right, in NCERT anywhere, but we got, okay, in haloalkanes topic, But if you see aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid, they got one reaction called haloform reaction. Okay, in this we'll get formation of haloform like iodoform, we can take chloroform or bromoform, right? Okay, so we can take from aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids topic, and it's starting with acetone now. So I taken here, right, acetone upon reaction with sodium hypochlorite. You know, one of the condition for haloform reaction is the aldehyde or ketone must have methyl ketone group, right? So it should have CO CH3 group present, then only that aldehyde or ketone will show haloform test. Okay, so acetone is having that, right? So you can write the reaction now easily, and the reagent used in haloform reaction is sodium hypochlorite or hypoiodide can also be taken. What it forms now? It results in formation of two compounds. One is sodium acetate, or generally we can take sodium salt of carboxylic acid, and other is chloroform, right? So in the place of sodium hypochlorite, we can even make use of calcium hypochlorite also. So that also forms chloroform, right? So you can see the options given here. We got one, calcium hypochlorite can be used to get chloroform when we take reaction with acetone. Okay, so the right answer for this question is calcium hypochlorite. Okay, third question now. Chlorobenzene reacts with magnesium in dry ether to give a compound A, which further reacts with ethanol to yield. Okay, so it's two-step reaction given here. In the first step, reaction of chlorobenzene, you can see here I taken reaction chlorobenzene with magnesium in the presence of dry ether. We'll get formation of, you know, this reaction alkyl halides or aryl halides. When reacts with magnesium in dry ether, it forms Grignard reagents. So we got formation of a Grignard reagent here, phenyl magnesium chloride. Now in Grignard reagent, we already got this, right? We have taken few questions based on Grignard reagent, and there I explained regarding polarization. So you can see one more time here, carbon will be having partial negative charge and magnesium is having partial positive charge. So what happens now? The Grignard reagents are the good source of nucleophiles, right? So it generates carbanion. So here in the case of phenyl magnesium chloride, we can get phenyl carbanion. Okay, that phenyl carbanion will abstract acidic proton. As you can see, right, in alcohol we got acidic proton. H plus is abstracted by the phenyl carbanion and is converted into a benzene. Right, so the main compound obtained in this reaction is benzene. Okay, so you can see the options given here. The right answer is benzene. Okay, let's take next question now. Okay, next question is, when chlorine is passed through propene at 400 degrees Celsius, which of the following is formed? Okay, reaction between chlorine and propene. Temperature here 400 degree Celsius. Okay, what happens now? If we take at 400 degrees Celsius, we can easily guess here the reaction should be a free radical reaction. Okay, it cannot be addition reaction. Okay, so I taken first here, this is propene. Upon reaction with chlorine, 400 degrees Celsius temperature, we need to heat it. It results in formation of allyl chloride. And this is because at high temperature, as I said, chlorine breaks homolytically to form chlorine free radicals, and the reaction is free radical chlorination reaction. Okay, okay, now if we see the substance, okay, or the substrate molecule here, why will get only a chlorine substituting in allylic position? Okay, that's because of, you know, if we take this mechanism, right, it forms a free radical, right, and the most stable free radical is possible with you can take like allylic position, right? Allylic carbon is having unpaired electron, so you can take this allylic free radical is actually more stable, right? That's the reason why it results in the formation of allylic chloride. Okay, so the right answer for this question is option B, allyl chloride. Okay, next question now. Which chloro derivative of benzene among the following would undergo hydrolysis most readily? Okay, so most readily with aqueous sodium hydroxide to furnish the corresponding hydroxy derivative. Right, so in other words, you can take like in which case the rate of reaction or rate of hydrolysis will be more. Okay, you can see the options there. All are chlorobenzenes, right? Or you can take its derivative, or you can take generally they are haloarenes. And in the last part, I have taken one question there in which we have taken reactivity of haloarenes and how to increase the reactivity of haloarenes. So we can take one way, right? By placing electron withdrawing groups in ortho and para positions, we can increase the reactivity of chlorobenzene or haloarene. So the same is done here, right? Based on the same, we can see options there. One is having, you can see the first option there. We got 3 electron withdrawing groups placed in ortho and para positions. So what it does now, it will increase the reactivity of chlorobenzene. Okay, so the most reactive will be 2,4,6 trinitrochlorobenzene because of presence of electron withdrawing group in ortho and para position. So the right answer is option A. Okay, next one. Which of the following is an optically active compound? Right, we got already solved many questions again based on this also. Optical active means there should be chirality in the molecule, right? And if you take chirality, you can just directly select here, right? I taken the structure for 2-chlorobutane, and 2-chlorobutane is having 1 chiral carbon atom, right? And if you take 1 chiral carbon atom present, that is said to be optically active compound. So the right answer for this question is 2-chlorobutane. Right. Next one now. If we take, okay, let's go for the next question. Phosgene is a common name for, right? So this is again a direct question. Phosgene, nothing but COCl2, or we can take it as carbonyl chloride. So the right answer for this is option D, carbonyl chloride. Okay, next one now. Which one is formed when sodium phenoxide is heated with ethyl chloride? Right, this is again a name reaction. We can take like reaction of alkyl halides with alkoxides, right? So a reaction of alkyl halides with sodium alkoxides to form ethers, and we can take the reaction as Williamson's ether synthesis. Okay, so we can take here sodium phenoxide. I have taken here sodium phenoxide upon reaction with ethyl chloride. Okay, you can see sodium methoxide is a good electrolyte, right? What happens? We get phenoxide ion generated easily, and that attacks on the ethyl iodide. Okay, as a result, this iodine is liberated or eliminated in the form of iodide. Okay, the main compound obtained here is, you can take C6H5O from this sodium phenoxide, and this is from alkyl halide. Okay, so I'll get formation of ether. We can take the name of this ether as ethyl phenyl ether, or the another common name for this we can take like phenitol. Okay, so the options you can see here is given phenitol, right? So the right answer is option A. Okay, and the name of reaction is Williamson's ether synthesis. Okay, so we have completed 8 questions in this part, and this completes haloalkanes and haloarenes, the previous and NEET questions. Okay, so in the next sessions, I'm taking a topic from physical chemistry, and if you want me to take any other things, okay, if you want me to discuss any other bits, you can comment. Okay, And if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.